Hey, everybody. Happy Thursday. Coming to you just as a catchy phrase of Thursday Thoughts. Just something to put on there. But I want you to think about this. I want you to think about that you have influence. You have influence over your life, you have influence over those around you. Um, and I'm not saying like authoritarian influence. I'm saying based on the way you live, the way you do things, it can influence how people see you and how people react to you and how people may live their lives. Just real briefly, there's two things that kind of happened this week. One was unfortunately a negative situation where an old friend of mine had a situation didn't turn out too well. That he decided that he was in too much pain and he did not want to stay here. So I talked to another friend of mine on that, and it was just one of those where you always question if you could do something. If there was something you could do, something you could say that could help when things like that happen. And all you can do is open up the door. Unfortunately, he didn't open up to whomever he needed to, and like I said, he decided to go a different route. Without getting into any details or anything on that, out of respect for him and the family. But it's one of those where yeah, we all have some type of influence over people, and I'm not saying that once again there was anything that I could have done because like it's been a little while since I talked to him, but it was one of those where you know although there was nothing we could do for him, what can we do for people around us right now? Like I said, how we live our lives can influence people. Speaking to people can influence people. Talking to people can influence people. Having an open door policy can influence people. Having a judgment free zone can influence people because then they feel they can come and talk to you no matter what's going on in their lives. Which kind of brings me to a second scenario that happened to me yesterday where I was talking to a young man that was one of my youth. He's now, of course, an adult, but he has a ministry of his own. And talking to him was very encouraging to me because he talked about some of the influence that I had on him that allowed him to grow in a very critical part of his life. And I greatly appreciated that because spiritually I was kind of troubled a little bit, just kind of a little bit discouraged, not as motivated as I needed to be to get some things done. But that conversation with him helped me realize that no matter what I feel, the influence that I can have on people is positive. And he called it a gift that God has given me. And I appreciate that because that lets me know that it's bigger than me. And when anything is bigger than you, then you have to use it. I can't sit on it. I can't be discouraged and just ho hum and woe is me type situation. I have to go out and make changes. I have to go out and influence the best that I can. So as I said, that conversation really uplifted my spirit because although I was moving forward, I was barely moving forward. Like I said, my motivation was a little bit down, but that definitely lifted me up. And that kind of helps me to understand that what I'm doing now, even trying to speak, or I'm not saying trying to speak, even speaking, that also is a positive because that takes what I was able to do with them and trying to put it on a larger scale to speak to more people, to a larger group of people, to have as much influence over people as I can. God has given me a gift, and I appreciate that, and I'm trying to use it to the best of my ability. He's put me in situations throughout my life that I've been able to use it or to develop the different skills to be able to use what He has for me. So I appreciate all the words of encouragement, not just from him, but his was right on time. But for all of you all that have come to me, whether it's in person, whether it's through email, through the website, whatever it may be, that have encouraged me, and I appreciate that. But I want us all to understand that we all have influence. We can all influence people, and we all want to try to influence people in a positive manner. So whatever your gift is, whatever it is that you do, keep doing it. There are people watching you, whether you know it or not. And what you do can help them, but also understand that what you do can also hurt them, because they may see you in a certain way and then see you in a different way. And it may be a little bit discouraging to them. So kind of watch what you do, just because you never know who's watching you. And I'm talking young people to older people. There's no limitation on the influence that you can have. So keep that in mind as we move forward. Understand that we are all influencers, and let's use it for the greater good. Let's influence people in a positive manner so that they can influence people in a positive manner. And it just kind of multiplies and multiplies and multiplies, so that all the negative energy that's out there, we can override it with positive energy, positive thoughts, positive spirits. All the positivity that we can muster up, we can now go in and populate the world with. So thank you for your time, and be a positive influencer. Ready, set, go.